disclaimer. We are unqualified and unapologetic. We are not professionals. Just a couple with opinions and life experiences. Take what works. Leave what doesn't. Let's do this.
Sessions and lessons are scripted. The mic stay twisted. Truths get lifted. Hearts feel sifted. No script, just grip. Raw thoughts drifted. Echoes in the chamber, my mind's unassisted. Pages burn blank, every line resisted. Skeletons in closets, dust gets evicted. Break chains on the brain, no more conflicted. Smoke from the past, inhaled, and I missed it. Scars in my soul, but the pain's encrypted. Sipping on wisdom, the taste feels liquid. Sessions and lessons, I'm finally convicted.
Hey everybody, it's me, Joel, host of Sessions and Lessons Unscripted. And across from me here, confused looking, Gloria Rosario. Hello, Gloria. What's going on over there?
Hello, everybody. I'm trying to figure out
What's going on?
I need to push a button. Hold on.
Push a button. Okay.
There we go. We're good.
Lady, get your stuff together, please.
I'm together.
All right, guys. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. That kind of threw me off there. Not only do we not have a, said intro or whatever, you just threw it all off.
That's my talent.
Yes, that's one of Gloria's many talents, her hidden talents. So, hope everybody out there is doing well. Nothing too much to report over here, just your usual, taking one day at a time. Your usual taking mental beatings and just kind of chugging along. How about you, Gloria?
The same. I mean, nothing new to report either. Grandma's still where she needs to be. I'm off today.
And you guys know that she's doing better because she's saying yuck to all the hospital food that we're giving her.
Yeah. We're working on her diet right now.
Yeah, she's not having it.
No, she's not.
Yeah, well, hospital food's not the best.
No, it's not.
I think the last thing I ate at a hospital, well, that was hospital food, like not cafeteria, might have been lobster. Oh, it sounds weird, doesn't it?
Wow,
Yeah,
lobster is the worst
and
hospital
steak from a hospital.
What?
Yeah, that's a long story. I won't even get into it.
Okay.
And to this day, I still think lobster is blech. Well,
I wouldn't trust the lobster from the hospital.
see, that's the thing, right? So, I'll try anything once, whatever, but it's like, personally, I think, well, actually, I have had lobster since, and I still think it's overrated. I don't understand it. Like, lobster used to be, like, so bougie, like, if you got lobster, it's like a cockroach. It scavenges the bottom of the sea.
The cockroach of the sea.
Am I lying? Look it up.
No, you're right. You're right. Consider the cockroach.
Yeah, it's like a cockroach.
Delicious.
Disgusting. I'm not into seafood, so
No.
whatever.
Well, outside of that, outside it is 300 degrees.
Oh my gosh, it's so warm out there. We got Amazon packages. When we brought the packages in, it felt like they just came out of an oven, and I'm not even kidding. The box was all warm and hot, and then the contents inside was hot. It was just bad. And then the air is like, it's doing its job, but not as well as it normally does. Yeah,
It's dry, hot air.
it's just no.
No, thank you.
That's all right. Well, I'll be complaining later about how cold it is, which I'll take over the hot. I don't care.
Ready for winter to get here until the summer.
Hoodie weather, fall time. I love fall time. That's my favorite.
Yeah, still waiting for that. The very patient ones.
All right. So on this episode, guys, we were discussing. It was kind of part of a bigger discussion that we were having, but we were talking about what self-confidence and being self-conscious about stuff.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Wow, okay. What was that? She's allergic to me, people.
Oh, my allergies have been so bad these last 3 days.
Maybe it's the new cat.
No, it's not the cat. There's some kind of fog or something advisory for the outside.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of wonky today, too.
Well, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt the flow yet again.
Well, that's what you do. The interrupt flows. That's your middle name. Interrupt the flow, Glow.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so yeah, we were talking about being self-conscious or self-confidence and stuff like that. I think part of it was that brought it up was I was working on like a blog post and just stuff that kind of happened at work that kind of put it in my head about how to make a long story short, and we'll discuss this in another episode, not so much this one, although we'll touch on it, is basically letting other people put out your embers, right? And kind of stomping things out. And, you know, your self-confidence takes a hit, and, you know, people already have their little, like, things that they're self-conscious about, you know, their appearance, the way they talk. I mean, I could go through a whole list of stuff I'm self-conscious about. What about you?
I have a couple of issues here and there, but I mean, nothing that
But you're more like, well, because you're more of like, I don't give a crap what anybody thinks or says, which I get. And for the most part, I'm like that. But still, things kind of creep in, right? There's still cracks in the foundation.
sure. Yes. I mean, I'm human.
Right.
You look things just as much as anybody else, you know.
Because everyone wants to be liked, right? And everybody wants to be, I guess, like, looked positively upon, right? They don't want to.
I am too old to.
I'm getting to that point.
I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
But it's still, like I said, it creeps through.
No, it does. Sometimes, you know, I go through little things, but then I remember how awesome I am, and I just kind of.
You remember how awesome, and you are. I mean, that's really good. That's a good attitude to have. I know. One of my issues or big issues is my self-confidence and self-worth and all that stuff. Never thought much of myself ever. I'm no better than anyone else.
Well,
I think sometimes, and I know a lot of people will say this is bad, but I feel myself kind of below others. Like I always put others above myself.
I tell you that all the time.
And I mean, I have a ton of self-confidence issues anyway, self-conscious issues. So like the big one off the top is my weight. I mean, that's always been an issue.
But you're working on it.
True. And I mean, I guess I'm doing okay. I mean,
Awesome.
I've been having to buy new clothing as we speak, and these pants that I got on are not, are being held on by a thread, literally.
No, but don't diminish what you've done. It's good. It's progress.
True. And I mean, at least I'm going the right direction, right?
Right.
But I mean, the weight was a big one, right? And then, I mean, and because of being teased and just not having the body dysmorphia and all of that other stuff, I mean, yeah, my self-confidence and self-esteem is just very low, or always been low. So I think we touched on it before too, about being a bigger person. You're like, you have a target on you, and some people just, you know, take advantage. And it's like, and at the same time too, it's the lowest hanging fruit, right? Like,
right.
But look at this, you know, big slob over here.
Well, I think when I was super young, like little, I had confidence issues because I was being bullied a lot by older kids. Not even kids in my grade. It was always like a year or two older than me. And that really messed with my confidence like a lot. But I think I got to the point where I don't know, I was weird. I was a weird kid, and I was okay with that.
But you're a weird adult, so.
What? It didn't change me. I am who I am, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard when you have people that are picking on you, and especially when it's like a group of people that pick on you. And I was always kind of a runt growing up. I was always like one of the smaller kids, which is hard to imagine
Just
now.
very weird because you're not a small.
I'm not.
You're
But
tall, and you're like, yeah.
no, so there was a while where I was kind of smaller than the other people or the other kids in class. And then I don't know what happened between fourth grade, summer. I just kind of shot up. I came back and I was one of the tallest girls in school. Um, I don't know. It was just
Well, that happens to a lot of kids, right? They go through a little growth spurt.
yeah.
Actually, our nephew was going through that.
Gosh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
getting big.
Yeah, he is.
But with the whole bullying, it just I've never been a fan of violence. I'm not. I know I talk about throwing hands and but I don't consider myself a violent person. I really have not. I try to avoid conflict when I can. But when I feel cornered is when the issue starts.
But
And I don't know, I just kind of stopped caring about things. You know, you don't like me, it's okay. You don't have to talk to me because, we have to realize that not everybody's gonna like us, no matter how nice we are, no matter how kind we are.
yeah, we're not gonna make everyone
We're not gonna
right.
always vibe with people, and
No.
it doesn't matter, and that's okay. In work situations in the past, I was bullied because I'm like genuinely a nice person, and then, like I said, I try to avoid conflict. But then when I snapped, everybody was like,
Isn't that crazy? Once you do finally put your foot down, it's like the end of the world.
yeah, I was like the meanest person, and all of a sudden people stopped talking to me. And it's no, I'm gonna start treating people with the same exact way that they treat me. That's kind of what I've always gone by, since I can remember. If you're nice to me, I'm gonna be nice to you. If you talk to me, I'm gonna talk to you or whatever. Um, there are people out there that I don't like, and it's just like, okay, I'm an adult now. I'm gonna treat you with respect.
Just like you said, you're not gonna vibe with everybody.
No, no, that everybody understands, my weirdness, and that's fine, because I am weird.
Well, I don't know. Weird is kind of almost got a negative connotation.
I don't think so. I think by weird, I mean I'm a unique person.
Yeah, or eccentric.
Eccentric. Yes, I'm like eccentric. I like art. I like to paint. I like to, make things. Not everybody's gonna vibe with me. I don't want to say about like a free spirit or whatever, but I mean that's how I've been described in the past. I have a passion for things, but I guess when it comes to family, that's where I have an issue, and I guess because people know how to push certain buttons, it kind of gets me going. But I've learned to kind of just not pay attention to anybody's negativity,
Right.
because they're over there, making fun of you or putting you down. You're the one up with the negative feelings, but then they move on with their day, and you're still left feeling hurt. You know.
Uh,
And it's just like, that's why I tell even my nephew, I tell him, people aren't always nice, but you always have the choice to walk away. So I don't know. I just, it's a different world out there today. Um, bullying was a lot. I don't think it's gone away. I think the way that people handle it has, changed a lot.
oh, bullying for
Yeah.
sure hasn't gone away. I mean,
No.
but then now it's even worse, right? Because you got cyberbullying, you got there's always been different ways of bullying somebody, but now it's even more. I mean, you don't even have to be in the same state to bully somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that self-confidence and self-esteem are the same thing? Or, I mean, I say they are, but they're not.
Explain yourself.
So the word pride for some reason it comes to mind when I think of self-confidence,
Okay.
and not pride like in a bad way.
Right.
And self-esteem is more like your, I guess, self-worth, like what you think of yourself.
Okay.
So, I mean, like I said, they're kind of the same thing, but not really. I mean, it's confidence is more like a pride thing, I guess.
I think for me, confidence is how you reflect yourself, in situations. I am not the greatest of speakers in a group, but once I get going,
Can't shut you up.
you can't shut me up. No, really. I think confidence to me is like how you radiate yourself and how other people perceive you.
Yeah.
You know, because you can walk in and have a cocky attitude and not have any confidence.
Yeah, it could be kind of like a mask, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I've always thought that the loudest person in the room is the one with the least amount of confidence.
What's that saying? The empty can rattles the most.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think confidence is different than self-worth because self-worth is how you view yourself, like that you're worthy of things, you know, whether you're worthy of love, whether you're worthy of friendship, and you know what your core beliefs are and what your core emotions are. That's what I think is the difference between confidence and the other thing.
So, would you say you struggle with low confidence and you're self-conscious? Do you struggle with that? Would you say you struggle with
I
it?
am self-conscious, and only because, you know, um, I've lost weight, and I think we've talked about this together privately. How it's so weird to me, like I don't fit in my clothes anymore, but I don't necessarily like I'm in between.
Yeah, kind of in that spot too.
Right, and I think that's where I guess I'm kind of struggling with right now. But it's such a petty thing.
But I'm saying, do you struggle, like, do you stress, like, in your everyday life, like say someone's gonna say something or do something, or uh like your self-confidence or your the things that you critique yourself
Yeah.
for are gonna be exposed or anything like
Have I
that.
looked like that way?
Well, yes, I have, and they're very lovely people. They're my favorites. All my family, both sides.
Not everybody, but you know what I was saying. Like, anytime I go around family, I'm always waiting for that, that, you know, that thing that's gonna kind of throw me off or kind of not necessarily make me feel bad, but react in a certain way. You know, that's like the norm. But that's something that's been self-taught. Like, I taught myself that, you know, to always be prepared now that I'm around so much family that I'm not used to being around. It's kind of like I always have my guard up, just waiting for the moment when someone's gonna say something.
All right.
But I don't know, not so much. Like, I don't know. There's days where I'm just like, don't start, and other days where it's just like, I revert to being that kid. You know?
Right. That I think I constantly, it's gonna sound weird, but I constantly, now here I'm a grown man, right? You know, middle-aged guy.
Right.
Well, and then this goes hand in hand, I guess, with my situation too. So I mean, this has part in it. I'm not. I mean, we'll go into detail on that another time. But you know, being abused, I would say that a lot of times, and it happens more often than not, probably way more than I'm sure than a lot of normal people, and the people out there that have experienced this can kind of chime in too. But I feel like a child, a kid, like a vulnerable kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like that a lot of the time. I've always said that I don't feel like an adult man. I don't feel like an adult. It's weird. I feel like I'm stuck in which could explain some stuff, but I feel like I never like really I didn't grow up, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. You know, this might be off topic, but you saying that kind of brings something to mind. On TikTok, before we got married, there was this TikTok that I saw, and what is the name of that movie? The one with the feelings, like,
Oh, here we go.
no, another cartoon. Well,
It was that movie with that guy. You know that guy.
no, because each expression was like there was sadness, happiness.
Is that one of those Pixar movies?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I want to see it.
Okay, well,
I forgot the name of it. It's with all the emotions and stuff.
so there's this part in the movie where the green character, I don't remember her name
I have no idea.
at the moment, went to go find a pink elephant. And they're on a rocket, and in order for the rocket to fly over something, the elephant gets off. And the green character is on the other side, and she's like, yeah, we made it. And she didn't realize that the pink elephant stayed behind. Right? And then the elephant's like, yeah, go save so-and-so, And there was somebody who did like a TikTok where she was talking about walking with her inner child and then healing and then turning it on and looking back, and the child version of her is behind the bridge, and she moved past the bridge and she's looking back, and she basically tells herself to go save herself, right? And it kind of struck a chord because I think that when you suffer like a traumatic experience when you're a kid, especially like in your formative years, you kind of stop, I guess, growing. And that inner child inside of you that doesn't grow up, is still inside of you, but you're an adult, right?
Yeah.
And
well, I don't know. I think that's kind of like, because whatever it is that affected you wasn't, I guess, addressed or fixed. And it's like, there's residuals that go with that, right? Because it sticks with you.
The whole point of the TikTok is that, she got to a healing place and the inner child stayed behind. And she was like on her own path now. But I think that similarly, like people like us that have been through trauma or through some sort of, abuse or whatever, that part of us kind of stays a child inside of us.
Right.
Like your inner child, and that's why we...
But do you think that's because of lack of treating it or addressing it, or do you think...
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Okay.
Because look at, this again, look at our room. Like, we're in a room full of toys,
Yeah.
And to me, there's more behind the toys that I collect, right? Because it's like the inner child in me, or the child, I was deprived of a lot of like certain things, and I'm not saying just like monetary or toys or whatever, but in a way, it's a way of me healing myself. Like, oh, this used to bring me so much happiness as a kid. Like, I had to get it back then. Let me buy this now,
Right. Yeah, but also too, when you're older, you got grown-up money.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, my mom didn't let me get this. I'm gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy 4 of them. Take that down.
So there's that.
No, but you know what I'm saying though. It's because I feel like people that have been through like heavy trauma or some sort of, explosive thing that we don't get over and we just carry in ourselves, is this kind of like, we don't get a chance to heal that part of us. So when we're adults, that's why people collect like toys, and people, I don't want to say act childish.
Well, it's weird too, because that kind of brings up something in my mind, like nostalgia, right? So you have all of these things, like say, you're into G.I. Joes, and then you start collecting them. It reminds you of better times, right?
Right.
And then it's that is a kind of a weird thing now that I think about it, because you go back to your childhood when you were going through trauma, or that you were that scared little kid, and then you still have those instances where you have the good memories too. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
Probably not.
So I understand what you're saying. And as adults, we don't give ourselves time to laugh and giggle and do all the silly things that we did because we're adults and we don't have like the time, or we are considered like immature if we act a certain way. And that's why I always feel like I've never really, like you said, like I'm a big kid.
Oh, I mean, I'm like a big kid.
I'm a big kid.
I've been told this,
Right, like, especially
and I feel like it too. Like I said, I don't feel like a grown man.
no, I don't think there's anything wrong with
And
that.
I get very awkward around, like, it's gonna sound weird, but I can't awkward. I feel awkward around like grown people, like especially if it's like, say, a group of dudes and they're talking about sports and whatever, and I just feel like like if it was a little kid in a room with adults, right? Like they're out of place, and I feel like
But
that.
obviously you're not a kid. You have a mortgage. Duh. Hello.
Yes, I have a mortgage. I got bills to pay.
No, but you know what I'm saying? No, and I think that's why, I don't pay attention to what people say about my character, or I don't care about any of that stuff, because it's like, if it makes me happy and it's not hurting you, what difference does it make?
Right.
You don't like the things I collect? Well, people have
It's not your money.
It's not your money. It's not your house. You know what I mean? And my thing is like, people out there like spend money on purses, like expensive purses, expensive cars, expensive jewelry, and that's like normal. Like that's like what people like thrive for. But for me, buying something old that makes me happy, whether it's an ugly ass purse or whether it's, an Ursula, whatever, like, how is that any different?
Right.
It's just that you consider them immature and I consider you buy $600 purse.
Right.
Kind of like, that's just a waste of money. Even though I'm wasting money on buy stuff, but if that's what makes you happy, go for it, Or not talking down for people, buying $600 purses or anything like that. I don't care. But that's not what brings me joy. If it's what brings you joy, you go ahead and you drop that money on that purse.
All right, so I am thinking, like, all right, when you're a child, when you're a kid, how do you cope with, being teased and your self-confidence and your self-worth and all of that stuff? Maybe it's communication, right, between parents or teachers or pastors, or you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone's gonna grow up with some sort of
Something.
being self-conscious because of something when they were a kid, right? Or you think there's people that grow up that are not, their lives just kind of, I'm not gonna say perfect.
Those are the kids that were doing the bullying.
Who knows? But I think people out there listening know what I'm kind of asking. It's like,
another thing too is like, we always focus on the person who's being bullied, which we should. Right. But you have to look into the reason why that person or that child or that kid or whatever is being bullied. Are they being abused at home?
yeah, for sure.
Are they getting mistreated at home? Maybe there's something going on. Maybe they even get
but then
abused.
that brings up the point too, that people just gotta see themselves in others' shoes, right? Like the guy, the kid that's getting teased, and people don't realize the effects of things you say or do, right, on others. Like it has lasting effects. Me, to this day, I still have lasting effects.
Right.
Being teased, bullied. I wasn't really bullied. It was weird because I wouldn't say I was never really bullied in school. I was pretty well liked. But then when the teasing started, or someone wanted to insult you, of course, being a big kid or whatever, they right away by default, that's where they go to.
Right.
And then you grow up with like issues with your body and stuff because people ridicule you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I wish I would have written down the facts about this. There was you know, back in the 30s and 40s, there was no regulations in how they perform tests on people. No. There was a group of scientists that took kids that stuttered and kids that didn't stutter. They made the kids that stuttered feel like they were normal, they were popular, that was the thing to be, like they were so good. And the kids that spoke normally, they would tell them that they were dumb, that they were slow, that nobody loved them. Just, you know, totally messed up their.
It's like a cruel experiment.
Yes, well, it went on into adulthood. They were part of this study. Only they didn't realize that they were part of this study. So they realized that the kids that had the stutter and had you know, speech impediments did better than the kids who were told, you know, you're not normal, even though they didn't have a stutter or speech impediment. A lot of those kids, as they grew up, stopped talking, stopped communicating, developed stutters to pick
Because they got
into-
self-conscious.
Right.
Yeah.
And they developed stutters to get into the cool group or the good group, you know?
Yeah.
And
See, that's what I mean. Like, people don't realize.
no, it's some of the kids that spoke normally unalive themselves by the time that they were adults because their self-worth was so low compared to the kids with stutters that were spoken to in high regards.
Right.
So years and years and years went by, and the government had to admit that they had approved that study on people. But by that time, you know, these people were old and grown and had kids of their own. That, you know, they never knew that they were part of like an experiment. Got it. So they got a payout and everything. I wish I would have. Oh, this fits so perfectly. But the point of the
It's okay. We know how ill prepared you are usually.
always. Oh, excuse me. The basis was, you know, that the article was trying to, you know, tell you was that words have lasting effects on you emotionally, mentally, and how you grow and how you interact with other people.
Right.
You know, so words do carry meaning more than what we realize. So when you're talking down to someone, whether it's, you know, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're slow, or whatever it is, those words can pierce someone deeper than what you're, you know, attending to.
Yeah, so if I would say if you have young children or, you know, teenagers or whatever, I mean, of course you want to kind of monitor and make sure they're okay, right? But ask questions, see what's going on, because I mean, you want to kind of nip that thing right away because it can turn into an issue down the line, right?
Right.
And then being, I think that's more necessary so much when you're younger than when you're older. So like, as an adult, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with that issue of being self-conscious about stuff or being your self-worth or whatever? Uh, I know they say the focus on your self-care, right?
That's number one, I think.
Well, yeah, you got to take care of yourself. Your physical, like, say you're overweight, right? You need to stop and be like, okay, I need to start taking better care of myself, right? So that's, regardless, you got to put in the work, right? You got to, some things are kind of out of your control, but some things are.
Okay, but when you're talking to a kid,
That's what I'm saying. When you're a kid, it's a little different because
right.
you need more help with stuff like that.
Right. But as an adult, I think that we need to take on personal responsibility for the choices that we're making.
Yes.
And also personal responsibility to help yourself.
Okay, right. And then also, if it is stemming from something way back then you need to address it. Especially as an adult, you know better now, right? So if you need help one way or the other, you have to seek it out. You know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, surround yourself with people that are the opposite of that. They're gonna lift you up and like talk good about you and stuff like that. That's
Right.
very important.
Sometimes it's the environment that you're in. If you're hanging out with people that are constantly talking down to you or making you the butt of the joke,
Right.
those aren't really your people.
Right.
Because the people who genuinely love you are going to see you for who you are. Whether you're a weird kid collecting toys or whether you're an adult kid, collecting toys. And I know that sounds weird, like, oh, an adult collecting toys or, but it is what it is. People are different,
Good.
So, I mean, surrounding yourself with the right people is a plus, and it's something you should do. Um, I know it sounds cliche and all of that stuff about the whole positive self-talk, but I'm guilty of always self-deprecating. And you know what? A lot of the time it's just done in a kind of a cheeky, like smart-ass way, I'm not trying to be mean to myself. And I know they say you should never, ever, ever talk down to yourself or say anything bad about yourself, which I agree. I don't think you should. But I mean, me joking around, and I'm always like a smartass anyways, it's not meant that way. But then at the same time, that gives other people license to do that, and then that's when it becomes a problem.
See, and I think a lot of times we talk to ourselves worse than what we would talk to our best friend.
Right. Not even
Best friend is anybody.
Just your brother or sister, or, the way that I talk to myself sometimes, I would never think about talking to somebody else like that because I know it would hurt their feelings.
Right.
And sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, bitch, stop.
Mm-hmm.
You need to redirect yourself, And a lot of the times, just simply sitting down and just disconnecting yourself from things and finding things that are good in you is enough to give.
And I would say, and then amplify it, right? So like, oh, hey, that was a pretty good drawing. So, you're a good, you're a decent artist, or hey, you did it. Always pumping yourself up. And I know like the whole cliche thing where you look in the mirror and you're smart enough and you're like, who was it? Stuart Smalley?
Yeah.
From SNL.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be where you're physically looking in a mirror, like pumping yourself up.
Though.
You can. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Don't do it.
Well, when I first tried that,
you're smart enough. You're good enough. You're smart enough, and darn it, people like you.
Yeah, along those lines. Maybe not so nerdy, but
no, I'm as nerdy.
No, the first time I tried it, because I was in a social group that used to talk about uplifting women and what can we do, one nice thing that we can do for ourselves, and so they had these handheld mirrors, and they had you look into the mirror. Now first I'm like, this is so stupid, but you know me, I was like, I was not intrigued.
All right.
But then it's like the more I did it, the more it kind of like made me smile, and it's like you don't realize that sometimes taking those 2 minutes and pumping yourself up, because you have to be your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, you do.
You cannot count on people to always be on your corner and on your side, not even your best friend.
You're not your own biggest advocate.
You have to be your own biggest advocate, and I say that all the time.
Yeah.
You are responsible for yourself and yourself only. You cannot control people outside of you.
Especially when you're an adult.
Yeah, give yourself those 5 minutes to sit down and find the things that are good in you. Because I guarantee you, if you sit down for a few minutes, doesn't even have to be 5 minutes, 30 seconds, a minute, to find positive things about you, and you do that every day, you're going to start to realize.
And you're going to find something positive every time. It's like, you're not going to sit down and, I mean, I'm sure there's people that are maybe in a really bad way that are like, they'll not find anything, like, oh, I'm worthless or whatever. But you can sit down and there's something, positive and like, whatever about yourself.
Right. Or just think about something good that you've done for the day. It doesn't have to be something,
Yeah, even if it was something you did the last hour.
Right. Whether it was like, oh, I helped an old lady, with such and such, or oh, I, helped a kid find his ball, or whatever it is. As insignificant as it is, or you might think it is.
Yeah.
That is actually a starting point to launch yourself into thinking positive.
You gotta build. You gotta build.
You do. And it's hard. Like I said, it's really hard in the beginning. But even now, I find myself in the bathroom telling myself, like, you are a good person. You know, it doesn't matter what so-and-so said. Doesn't matter what family member said what.
Right. Just keep up with the positive self-talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, trust me, eventually that's all gonna... It's gonna drown out by itself. The more you think positively about yourself, and that is such a cliche thing, and I hate to be cliche, but really, try it.
Yes.
That's your homework.
That is your homework, people. And I think that's where we're going to leave it today.
All right.
I hope we made sense. Do you think we made sense today?
I don't know.
So for the one that is left listening and that's kind of half paying attention, no, we'll leave it there. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you as always. Let people know that we're here. Remember, take care of yourself. Even though the outside sources can beat you down and kind of plant seeds that shouldn't be there, you ultimately are responsible for yourself, especially if you're an adult. But just know that you're worth more than what other people say. It's like, who cares what other people say? You shouldn't care what other people say, because you do you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, guys, don't forget to visit the website, sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com, and the emails. If you got any suggestions, comments, anything, sessionsandlessonsmail@gmail.com. Visit us on the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Just search us out. You can either search Sessions or Lessons, or, you can search my name, Joel Rosario, and you'll probably find us. And that should do it for this episode. Anything else to add, Mrs. Rosario?
Yes, if you don't feel like emailing, if you go down to the if you go on the website, go down to the drop-down menu, and there is a section right there where you can contribute ideas, jokes, whatever it is that you feel like. Also, we're available on all major platforms for streaming and downloading, on all major podcasts where they are available.
And just a special thank you to you guys out there that have been engaging with us. There's a few of you out there. Thank you so much. Thank you for spreading the word and, engaging. And like I said, if you guys reach out, we will reach out to you guys too. So that should do it for this episode. We will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Sessions and lessons are scripted.